G'day everybody, Vanisher001 here. I've got my partner from projectPTFO, alm0stevil33, and we're going to talk a bit about Battlefield Premium, the patch, a few other things that interest us. You know, the things that we don't want to quite talk about, but we probably end up talking about, if you know what I mean. So, you're not buying Battlefield Premium, are you buying it?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick it up. I just haven't had the chance to yet at this point, but I'll get it before June 12th, before the maps actually come out on Xbox, you know? You got it, right?
Yeah, I've got it, yeah. And your interest in getting it was primarily before, for the 2 weeks early access?
Yeah, definitely. I just want that 2-week early access. That's a long time, you know? I mean, just
Yeah,
to
that is
not
a
have
long
it.
time. Having that advantage, you know, knowing the maps, and then everybody else gets it, and then you know you know where everything is. That's going to be a little some people will find that a little unfair that everybody knows where everything is.
It'll be pretty funny, kind of like the Christmas noobs that pick up games, you know? They just come in
Yeah,
late and you just wreck them.
yeah. Christmas news is always a lot of fun. So it's pretty good to have the premium, and you know, a lot of people are starting to get kicked from games and that, which I find ridiculous because they are a premium member. Seen a lot of forum postings about that. Are you a little worried about that yourself, or that you're going to be treated differently because you are a premium member?
Not really. I mean, you get all the extra stuff, but honestly, I think it's a fair deal, you know, $50. It's a lot of money, but, you know, with the advantages that you get, I think it's fair, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should
You're
be
not,
treated at a higher level.
yeah, so you're not too worried about what other players might do, other admins and all that on servers might end up kicking you for being a premium member?
I don't think that'll happen because the majority of players are actually buying premium at this
Yeah,
point.
it seems to be quite a lot of people are starting to buy it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. The box cutter knife is perfect for you, you know, it's just shit. It looks like shit, it really does.
It does. I like the other knife better.
Yeah, I had actually someone tweet out, I saw it on Twitter, is there a way I can switch back to the other knife?
That's great.
Oh, like, dude, deal with it. So, I guess we'll talk about the tournament a little bit. We'll get to it, but we won't talk about it straight away. Because we want to, but we don't kind of want to, do you know what I mean there, Dan?
Yeah, we're gonna be professional about it.
We're going to be professional about it, you're right, yes. And attempt to be professional about it. But are you looking forward to Armored Kill? Is that the one you're primarily looking forward to getting your hands on for 2 weeks early?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to close quarters a lot too, just because I come from a closer quarters kind of background. I like the close range. I like to be up in everybody's, you know, shit. It's just nice. I like that better than the long range vehicle combat. But Armored Kill is gonna be awesome too. I'll definitely pick that up.
That's right, you played a lot of Medal of Honor, didn't you?
Absolutely, yeah. That was one of my favorite games.
I played a little, but I wasn't too into the whole I'm dying before I even know what's happening.
Yeah, some players have an edge, the ones that actually play the game a lot. And
So you'd be pretty excited about Warfighter coming out.
oh yeah, I'm stoked, especially on the trailer at E3. The multiplayer trailer just looked great.
It did look pretty great, didn't it?
Yeah,
I
I
was
think it's
pretty
an improved
impressed.
engine. Really, the Frostbite 2, I was really impressed with what Danger Close did.
Didn't look like Battlefield. It didn't feel like Battlefield. It felt like its own game. You know, it has that doesn't have that DICE stamp where it kind of worried that they're using the Frostbite 2 engine. It's going to look like Battlefield. It's going to play like Battlefield because of that. And it doesn't look like it does. I mean, the single player looked unique to it, you know, to Danger Close. It looked like they put their own stamp on it, so that's pretty good to see.
Yeah, definitely. And it looked like they did take some sort of advice from, you know, other players that played the last game, veterans, and then most importantly, you know, they learned from the last game the mistakes that DICE made, and, you know.
Yeah. Well, we have to hope about the spawns and that, don't we? Because they were pretty ridiculous.
They were, yeah, I got a lot of cruise missiles to spawn trap.
Yeah.
If you learn the spawns, it was a hell of a lot of fun to piss people off just getting cruise missiles, but
It was just too easy, wasn't it?
it needs to be addressed, I'll be honest.
Yeah. You could just sit there, like, through your scope and pick them off everywhere. It's quite ridiculous. Let's hope they don't have the same problem with snipers again, too.
Yeah, I mean, Xbox was the only one that didn't get that patch that nerfed the snipers, you know.
Oh, really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Xbox got the shorthand of the stick. Yep, absolutely.
That's not good. It's probably because they'd reached their BF3 patch limit for the year, and they couldn't. Yeah, that's kind of bullshit that happens with Microsoft, but I guess we'll have to deal with that with Battlefield, won't we, in the end?
Yeah.
So, Armored Kill, then we've got Aftermath. No, Aftermath, is it? No.
Yeah, it's Aftermath and then Endgame is spring.
Yeah, that's right. Now, a lot of rumours that both those might be only, or no, the last one, Endgame might be only co-op.
Really?
There's a few rumours flying around about that. I don't think that's true.
I don't think they would do that.
No, because I've heard the confirmation that there is going to be motorcycles in Endgame.
Right.
So I don't see them making a co-op if they're going to have new vehicles there.
Yeah, so you never know with these rumors, you know, people thought that Endgame was actually going to be kind of like a sequel to an old Battlefield game, kind of like Bad Company 2 Vietnam was kind of like a reboot of Battlefield Vietnam on the PC, and a lot of people thought Endgame was going to be like a sequel to 2142.
I never actually got to play 2042. It was a bit of a disappointment because it kind of got a bit small towards the end, and I didn't want to... playing on Australian servers, you're never going to have the same, you know, capacity of players that America does or Europe does. So the games tend to die out very quickly over here. So I never really got into 2142, which is unfortunate. I would like to have seen that. So Titan mode was supposed to be very good.
Yeah, I never even got around to playing it.
No, you didn't?
No, I feel bad because my first Battlefield game was the console-only Bad Company 1.
Yeah, I played 1942. Played a little bit of Battlefield 2. I didn't play too much Battlefield 2 on PC. And then I got the Xbox, and then Modern Combat came out, and I started with that, and then I moved on to, you know, Bad Company 1, Bad Company 2.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as the consoles come out, I kind of just like, PCs are a pain in the ass, and put the disc in the console, and there we go.
That's what people thought about Onslaught and Bad Company 2, which I think that was a bust. I hated that.
That was completely
that was stupid. I can't believe I wasted my money on that.
I know. I can't believe I wasted my money on that either.
Rumor had it that it was co-op, like 2 players could play split screen, and I thought that would have been cool. No, of course not.
Nah, it didn't hold me at all. That it was fun for a day, you know. Got it initially, and then we finished it. And we're like, okay, now what? You know. Now what do we do?
Yeah, that was a waste.
Alright, so we'll talk about the tournament, hey?
Alright.
Bit of a crack at that. Now, we played against Mass Nerder, MCOM disposal team on Nose Hairs Canal and Carg Island. That was our second match. And how did you feel about our preparation for that match?
Our preparation just wasn't there. It was non-existent. Our first two randoms just. I mean, they were nice guys, but you know, the times proved to be too out there for them since they were European. They couldn't fit our practice times, and you know that's not fair. You know, that's not fair to them because they tried their hardest to make those times, but you know, it really wasn't that fair. And then of course, you know, their subs were perfect. You know, they fit their time zone exactly how they wanted them to.
Well, my biggest gripe was the fact that, as you said, we had our 2 randoms, they backed out, and we got another guy, he backed out, and then we got, I think, Andrew that day before, or that morning we got
That
him.
morning, yep.
Yep, and that was 2 hours before the match he got to play, and it was 4 AM for him in Russia, so there's a connection issue there.
Oh, it's funny, I met him 2 minutes before the match started.
Yeah.
I had no idea who he was.
Just beforehand.
I was like, Andrew Babkin, what?
Yeah. And we had Cozy Dutch Oven.
We met a day before, I think.
Yeah, 2 days before, but we only played with him one day, and the next day we couldn't all get on at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And then we met him, well, you practically met him on game day.
Right.
And I tried my best to run them through all the maps and that, but we just didn't have the time. Did we?
It just wasn't even, you know. We needed another week. That's all there is to it. And I don't know, like Mass Nerder and his crew, they got the whole week to practice. They were in the maps for a couple hours, finding head glitches.
Yes, the infamous head glitch, which it really did. It rubbed me the wrong way that one.
Yeah, I didn't like that. It was a little bit Little dirty tactic, but I'll give it to them. And then arming the MCOM, the second MCOM on nose hairs from behind, um, a little bit over the top, I think.
It was a little bit over the top for a friendly competition.
Yeah, I mean he was the one advocating the friendliness and how he told me he would never do that unless it was absolutely necessary.
It wasn't necessary. We were, I guess you put it down to one word, totally disorganized. Well, that's two words, but disorganized would be the best term for us. We had no plan, really. We weren't too familiar with each other's gameplay style. Well, you and I were, but we'd played together for, a few weeks, so we knew each other's play style, but we just didn't have the preparation, didn't have the the coordination we needed to put up a defense or an attack or, any semblance of anything, really. So it just made for a very tough and frustrating game.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and there was a little bit of lag on my side. I mean, I've never put so many bullets into people to kill them ever before.
It's funny. I had no lag whatsoever. I don't know. Maybe I just played awful. I don't know. That might have been it. That's probably
I think it's just.
But I just could not kill anybody.
Too much. We called it out, but we didn't have an idea of who was going where. So the nose hairs match wasn't our best performance. I mean, we were a little rattled once the head glitch started out, and then they didn't actually get the detonation on the MCOM off that head glitch, but that really threw us, didn't it? We didn't have an answer.
I sat there and watched that MCOM, and I watched it. I didn't watch it get armed from behind because I didn't know, but I sat there and I was looking at it, staring it down, waiting for you guys to spawn on me, and it just magically gets armed from behind. And I was the only squad mate alive, and he's telling me that it was a desperate situation, that they couldn't, they had to use that glitch or that flaw, that they had to do that. Like, I don't think so.
And he spent what, 2-3 hours looking for it.
Yep, that's what he.
Yeah. So the friendliness and community nature of the tournament kind of what got thrown out the window when they got desperate and they had to play serious and use a head glitch.
Desperate in quotes.
Yeah. I think I actually air quoted right then when I said that. But yeah, it threw me right then. I was like, I think I actually even said, "Nah, that was cheap." I think I actually.
I sat there and watched it. I was in shock. I saw the thing get armed, and I was running for the defuse, and I was like, "How did that happen?" I was like, "They can arm from behind. There's a corner back there. You must be able to get at it."
Yeah.
And I give him credit for finding the spot, because I'm sure we would have used it should we have found it, but
would we have looked? We wouldn't have looked, though.
And we had no time to do that in the first place.
Yeah, we didn't, did we? I had 2 games of Conquest before the match with Cozy and Andrew. And that was basically our preparation. That was it. That's all the time we really had. And then you came on a few minutes beforehand, and before in the Trotsky match, we had to burn the MCOMs, didn't we? We had to go through, and we had a few run-throughs so we could get a feel for the server and how the lag might have been and that. But with this particular match, it started. I mean, you came in and boom, we were gone. We were on. I think it was Scott had to join, and that's when it just went. You just had to start. There was no real preparation for us. And I know it might sound like we are bitching and moaning, but
it really wasn't even. It wasn't even.
But this is how it happened. This is not something we're making up. This is how it went. We did not get any preparation for that match. We had 3 randoms that backed out on us. We had 2 randoms that we just met, that we practiced with for, I'd say for Cozy, we probably practiced a total of 4 hours together, maybe. With Andrew, it was 2 hours at the most I practiced with those guys. And with you, probably 2 hours with Cozy. With Andrew was
literally 0 with Andrew.
Yeah,
0.
Literally, you just jumped straight in and this is Andrew. Oh, hi Andrew, and that was it, wasn't it? So,
yeah, really.
I don't think. I think we should have stood firm and said no. We want another week.
Yeah, he wouldn't have let it happen though. And
No, well, if
you
he
know,
didn't,
should he have been in our shoes? I don't know. I think that would have been different. I think he would have picked up another week.
if he said no, I would have backed out right then and there. I would have said no. Well, I'm out.
Yeah, it wasn't really. It just wasn't an even match, and I think maybe we're taking it too seriously. It was a friendly tournament, but you know,
Well, yeah,
I
I
think
think
that you should
friendly.
at least, whether if it's friendly or not, it needs to be fair and evenly
Yeah,
matched
I
on
think
both
friendliness
sides.
and the relaxed nature of the whole tournament kind of went out the window when someone head glitches arms. He arms the AMCOM from a head glitch, and that was it for me. That was where the point where I was like, fuck it. Yeah, I wasn't too impressed by the whole thing at all.
Yeah, but honestly, the tournament as a whole, I would say it's a success, and I give
Yeah,
Master, I give him complete credit. He, he really
he did
organized it
get
well,
something very,
and he sold
very.
his life away for the tournament.
Yeah, he did put a lot of time into it. Um, I'm quite surprised that a lot of teams backed out like they did, but I'm guessing a lot of time issues and all that couldn't be worked out. I think it might have been a little rushed, uh, giving people, time to get their own real life stuff out of the way before they play a video game might have been a good idea. You had tests galore during that week, didn't
Absolutely,
you?
yep, yep.
Yeah,
Finals.
so you had all your finals, and they were pretty important finals, so you really couldn't say, nope, I can't study, I've got to play a game.
Yeah, right.
So, and there was, I think you mentioned Memorial Day weekend was,
It was very inconvenient for most people, at least in
yeah,
America.
so there we go, I think it was a little rushed. It could have been handled a little better in the time-wise, but other than that, I think he put together something interesting, and it was very, very well managed. Um, I think they needed to give people a little more leeway with their personal lives and that before playing a video game. That's probably the only downside of it, really. And I think ourselves, personally, us two, should have been more vocal about needing an extra week. It
Yeah.
would have been for us.
Yeah, I didn't realize how prepared they were, though. That's
No,
what I can
I
tell.
was.
We could have never known that they prepared so well, and they had
By
all
the
that
time
knowledge.
our third random backed out, I was a little worried, but I was trying to stay positive and everything's good, we're gonna win. I had that thought in my head. But when the game day came and you met Andrew like 2 minutes before, and then I looked left, looked right, and I thought, we're not prepared.
Yeah.
That kind of killed it in my brain. We're just not prepared. We have no practice at all. We're not ready. And that wasn't because we didn't want to practice, or we couldn't practice. We just had nobody to practice with.
I couldn't practice sometimes though.
Yeah, well, we had tests and that, and our randoms backed out, so we couldn't practice with them. I mean, our practice style was to kind of, the first day we met them, is to throw them in the deep end and see how they did, play a few conquest games or rush games, gauge their performance and that, and see how they go, and then the next day we worked on, as I said, Rebel and JV were the best.
I love those guys.
Were just the best two people could have had for the first round. And if we could have continued with them, I think we would have done very well.
Agreed.
But having, to break in another set of randoms, yep, that was part of the deal with the tournament. We could accept that. But having them back out continuously all the way through, that just killed it. It was not on. We didn't have any preparation at all for our tournament. For our tournament match, it wasn't very good. So that's how we all feel, people. You're hearing it. I didn't want to actually get into it, but I guess we both felt we needed to, didn't we?
It was kind of necessary. I just wanted to get the word out there that it just wasn't an even match. And I'm not trying to be a sore loser in any way. I hope we don't come across that way, but it just, it literally just was not even. That's all there is to it.
Some people are going to feel that we are just whinging, crying, that we're being sore losers.
Sure.
But there is also this is fact. This is how it went, you know? This is not something we made up. This is actually how our preparation went.
But you know, they did outplay us. So if you want to put it that way, they played better than us. But
yeah,
the preparation that went into it just wasn't there.
Well, they were, in a sense, practically playing for individuals. You know what I mean? There wasn't a team there at that point. We were all scrambling a lot, not covering certain positions because we really did not have a plan of attack or defense. And it's not something you could exactly get together on the fly, like instantaneously.
It's almost like a sports team. You can't, you know, you could have the best players in the world, but if they don't know each other and their play styles, you know, it's just, they're not going to win.
I think I spent maybe an hour on my server trying to, you know, show them, oh, we're thinking of putting the spawn beacon here, the tugs here, and all that sort of stuff. I actually don't know if any of that happened during the match.
I don't think so, yeah. I mean, we had a couple good points. You know, I know Andrew put down the spawn beacon, allowed us to parachute in on card, but that was a really good idea on his part. That was on the spot. But
yeah, that was good.
He's a smart player. He's a good player, and Cozy played really well too. But I mean, in general, I think they played well, but we didn't know them, and I mean, most importantly, when we went through your server and that empty server on nose hairs and card, we didn't look for head glitch spots. We looked for where to put the spawn beacon and where to defend from. We didn't look to where could we head glitch? Where could we, you know, arm this MCOM in a kind of a cheesy way?
But the fact that they did when they knew that they could, that kind of just took a bit out of the tournament for me.
And then they acted like it kind of, they were acting like it was such a tough match and that we were, you know, defending so hard. But in reality, they were all right behind the MCOM, and I was the only one alive in the squad at the time. You know, you're telling me they couldn't have rushed up and killed me and armed it in a regular way?
Exactly.
And instead they had to arm it from behind? Like, I don't know. I don't see the point.
No. But, you know, we're going to have to brace ourselves for the sore losers and QQ and all that. I'm fine with that. I'm sure everybody's going to have their own opinions, but this is how it went. You know, this is how nothing was made up here. We didn't make up a lack of practice, and
it's the reality of the situation.
Yeah, our randoms dropping out. It's how it went. It's the reality of the situation, as Dan said. So I think we'll wrap it up there, and we'll leave it.
Sounds
and
good.
We'll see how people feel about what we've said so far. So I'll catch us again next time, and thanks for watching.